Yes guys, this is Pete and this is my United point of view. Today we're going to be doing a match reaction on Man United's 3-1 win versus Everton in the FA Cup third round. Before we get into that, today's video is sponsored by Ball Tactics. Check out their website for match previews and reviews with some tongue-in-cheek humour and a great insight into the game. Check out the link in the video description below. They're putting out some really good stuff. I've really implore you to check them out. Most of their things make me laugh all the time, so just check them out. The guy who does it's got a great sense of humour. I think you'll enjoy it as well. So on this match reaction, we're going to go into my thoughts on the game, just brief. Then we're going to go into man of the match poll I put out there and a couple of comments from some of you guys on Twitter. And then we're going to do the player ratings. Hopefully it's not going to be a super long video, but we'll see. So obviously my thoughts on the game. It was a tough watch, to be honest. I think Everton, played a very certain way. They actually remind me, the way they played reminded me of like an old style Sam Allardyce, Bolton team. Really tough, combative. More playing the longer ball. When Everton signed Lampard, they said that they signed him to play attractive, attacking football. But obviously, we didn't see any of that last night. Their players, were really up for it. They was trying to get into our players' faces, trying to, get the game on their terms. Obviously, we scored early on. Good goal from Anthony. Great play by Rashford to, set that goal in motion. And then obviously there was the howler from David De Gea, a player who I've really been singing the praises of lately. And then obviously it was a bit of a shame to see him obviously make that mistake, but I don't think we can jump on his back too much, with how good he has been this season. It's one mistake, everyone makes mistakes. So, it just is what it is. And then obviously we went on to score the second goal, an own goal from Connor Cody, through again yet some good play by Rashford on the left hand side. Took two people on, made a jink into the box, great ball across, and Cody had nowhere else but to put it in his net. And obviously I think Rashford was great yesterday. And then obviously at the end we get the penalty, which makes the result look a bit more comfortable. And I think obviously Rashford deserved the chance to take that penalty and get that goal because he did play really well. The first half of the game was really scrappy. Like obviously we scored, but then they scored because of the De Gea mistake. But I feel like our heads went a little bit. I feel like Everton were really up for it, and in our players' faces, in Rashford's face, in a couple of the other lads' faces, and I think we were a bit too frantic on the ball. We were trying to force the issue too much a little bit, and I feel like that's where we came unstuck a little bit in the first half. I think, we played some decent stuff and Martial had some decent chances, and he just needs to find his shooting boots because his hold-up play was really good, but then he let himself down with his finishing yesterday. And I don't want to jump on Martial's back. He's just come back from injury. I've seen a lot of people doing it, and I'm not really jumping on that bandwagon. I think he is a good player. He's a good option up front for us. Obviously, I'm hoping that we get another striker in so we have a bit of competition for him. And I'm hoping that he'll bring him out his shell a little bit and get him scoring goals, but we'll have to see. On that note, obviously, I've read today on Twitter that we're interested in Wout Weghorst, and it's starting to heat up a little bit, like we're actually going to go for him. So that's an interesting signing for me. Obviously, he went to Burnley, didn't do great things, but you can see what the type of player he is. Big target man, crosses into the box, good hold-up play, good at linking up the game. And as you've seen in the World Cup when he scored a couple of goals, he's not a bad player. And I think in a high-quality team like United, he will get a lot of chances if we can create for him. So obviously that'll be a bonus if that happens. But obviously, let's get back to the game. Yeah, obviously second half we came out, we were much better, and we seemed to compose ourselves a little bit more. Obviously in defence yesterday, I think was just a tiny bit shaky. I think Luke Shaw's done a good job, playing at that left centre-back role. But I think yesterday we was just a little bit vulnerable, especially with Damari Gray. And then when Calvert-Lewin came on, obviously they almost actually got a goal if it weren't for a very tight offside. So we were a little bit defensively frail, but I think we was good going forward. Garnacho came on, did a good job as well. I'm really liking what I've seen from Garnacho off the bench, and also from Fred off the bench. The last couple of games that they've both come off the bench, they've made a huge impact to the team. And I think Fred's kind of found his role at United. If he comes on with 20 minutes to go with all that energy, fresh, I think, he seems to have a lot of adrenaline, and it brings out the best in him. He out a few worldy passes last night when he came on. Got really, really tight to the ball, made a lot of interceptions, and I think he did really well. And Garnacho, obviously, he's done what Garnacho's doing. He's being direct, and in the end, that's the reason that he got us the penalty. So yeah, that's my thoughts, guys, on the game. Obviously, now I hope that Everton sack Lampard. It'd be nice for the last game we played to be United, and then they sack Fat Frank. That'd be amusing to me, at least. And now, guys, we're going to go on to the man of the match poll I put out there on Twitter. This poll did pretty well, got 85 votes. Obviously, the 4 people I put up for man of the match were Varane, because I thought he had a really solid game. Anthony, obviously, scored a goal. Casemiro, because he was just Casemiro. He exactly the way he's been in the past couple of games. He really just controls the game and stuff from that midfield role. And I think he played really well. And then the obvious one for me, Rashford, who, got a goal and technically 2 assists. So this is the way the voting went. In 4th place with 3%, Varane. Like I said, I thought Varane had a really good game, very solid. It's nice to have him back in the team. It'll be nice when we've got Leacher back next to him, because I think that partnership's really solid. So I can't wait to see that. Hopefully we'll see that against City, possibly. I think Leacher might play against Charlton just to give him a run out. And we'll see there. So yeah, you got 3%. And then in 3rd place with 4% was Anthony. Obviously, he had an okay game yesterday. Scored a goal. There was a few nice bits of skill, but I don't think he set the world on fire. I think it was a good game from him, but not the best I've seen him play. But I'm looking forward to seeing more from him. Obviously, he's not been at the club that long, and we are seeing, glimpses of what he can do. So it's nice to know that this is a guy that can do some special things. And obviously, I just want to see him take on people a little bit more, instead of, kind of always doing a little rollback and a pass. But I think the more he plays and the more he works on his partnership on the right-hand side with Delo, I think the more of the real Anthony we're going to see in the future. And then in 2nd place was Casemiro with 7%. Obviously, that shows that the guy who got man of the match got a huge percent of the vote from you guys. Obviously, I thought, like I said before, Casemiro really solid. I'm not expecting anything less from him now. He's like an 8 out of 10 every game. Controls the midfield, always breaks up play, puts out some worldy passes. He's just super intelligent. You can see that he's just a super intelligent football player, and he's all constantly looking for that ball forward, which I really like to see. Because obviously, when we've had Fred, it's always sideways, backwards passing. So it is nice now to see a player that's getting on the ball and trying to use it. And I thought Casemiro had a really good game. Obviously, he got 7% of your guys' votes. And then the man of the match, voted by you guys, and also he's my man of the match when I do the player ratings later, is Marcus Rashford. Obviously, had a superb game. He's in a rich vein of form, and it's nice to see. Hopefully, he'll no longer get called the dinner lady now. People are going to start to back him, see what a great player he is. Obviously, he struggled for a couple of seasons. He was playing through injuries. He, lack of form, lack of confidence, had all that stuff in the Euros. But now he's back to the player that we all know and love, and he's scoring goals for fun. obviously I would like other members of the team to score a few more goals to take a bit of the pressure off his shoulders of being like the main goal scorer in the team, but obviously it's been superb, and that's all I really got to say. Obviously the penalty, was took really nice and cool, that nice slow run up, and you just knew he was going to score. And then obviously the bit of skill to force the Cody own goal, and then the play to set up Anthony, just superb. Most of our good play went through him, and he deserves to be man of the match voted by you guys. So I got just a couple of comments on this tweet, so I'll read them out. So the first one was from at Mr. Craig Moore 1. He actually posted 2 tweets. I'll just read them out together. So the first one was Rashford for me. Obviously was man of the match. Everything positive we did going forward came from him, and deservedly got a goal, which I agree with. And then Craig posted his thoughts on the game a little bit as well. So he put quite a frustrating game. Everton tried to slow the game down at every opportunity, and it looked like they were doubling up on Rashford and Anthony. The mentality to never give in that's being implemented by Ten Hag won us the game, and last season we would have lost or drawn. And that's very true. Last season, if things didn't go our way and we didn't have if we were 1-0 up and then the other team pulled a goal back, for some reason all the players were down in tools and just not putting in the effort and the performance. So obviously it is nice to see that Ten Hag has installed this fight in them, a bit of steel. Obviously I think with some of the players that he's brought in have got that mentality, and it's lifted the rest of the players in the team. And that's a good point by Craig. Obviously it is nice to see that they actually do have that mentality now to fight and actually tough it out. So the second and last comment on this one is from Samuel Adaba 76, who said, I think it wasn't a mistake when the United Twitter admin posted earlier naming Rashford December man. Doctor is on fire, and I hope he keeps going day by day and week by week. Well, congratulations, Rashford, and thanks for the comeback. Rashford under Van Gaal is back, and I think that's true. Obviously, Rashford's finding his best form now, and that's when he was at his best for United, when he was under Van Gaal, scoring goals for Fulham, and it's nice to see him back there again now. So that's the man of the match poll, guys. We're just going to quickly get into play ratings. So first is David De Gea. Obviously, unfortunately, made a bit of a blunder and cost us a goal. I'm going to give him a 5. Thought he had a solid game, didn't have loads to do, but unfortunately, when he was called into action, he unfortunately made that mistake that cost us the goal. So it's a 5, but I'm not going to jump on his back like I said before. I think, he's been quality all season. He's just got to roll his hand up and then get on with it. So he made a mistake, that's it. Then next, Dolo. I'm going to give Dolo a 6. I thought he had an okay game. He had a bit of a tough time at times against Damari Gray. But, it's his first game back, his first start back after a while, and he did play well. He was still very good going forward. Maybe it was a bit harsh, actually. I'm going to give him 6.5, 7, because I actually thought he had a decent game, other than obviously struggled a little bit defensively, but I still think he had a good game. And then moving into right centre back, Varane. For me, Varane was an 8. Just calm, composed, did the simple stuff well. Got his head on the ball, passing the ball out from the back. Just looked calm and collected. So that's why he gets an 8 from me. Next, Luke Shaw. Shaw is 7. Obviously, he's not playing in his regular position. And he still had a good game. Obviously, didn't look too troubled. I don't think Everton offered that much going forward, really, when you look at it. Obviously, other than the Calvert-Lewin chance that got thinking off, I don't think Mope was that much of a threat for them. And it kind of gave Luke Shaw an easy night. And I think he did a good job, steady job, gets to 7. Then Malacia, a 6.5, 7. I think, again, he was okay. He just doesn't have as much going forward as what Luke Shaw
others when he plays at left back. But I think obviously he's a younger player and he is still developing, and I want to give him all the chances I can give him, because I think there is a quality player there, and for the amount of money we paid for him as well, I think there's a very special player there. So we just have to give him more time. But yeah, 6.57 didn't do anything wrong really, and had a steady game. So yeah. Then moving into midfield, Casemiro, for me, 8.5. I think, you know, he just does the simple stuff really well. Passes the ball well out from the back, breaks up the play. Best defensive midfielder in the world for me. Obviously, some people argue Rodri, and I've even seen people argue Toffes Party, but I feel like they're talking out their arse. So, you know, Partey can't over bleeding candle to bleeding Casemiro when you look at what Casemiro's won and done in his career. Obviously, much better player, but that's obviously my opinion. Then Everton had a good game. Don't think it was his best game, but I'll give him a 6. Obviously 6 is average. Just don't think he affected the game a lot, and I feel like he didn't use the midfield enough in the first half. I feel like he was always trying to go down the wings and didn't really go where the space was, which was actually middle of the park. Because every time Rashford got it, there was doubling up on him and leaving gaps. If we could have moved the ball quick back inside, I think we could have took more advantage of that. But I think, like I said before, the game was a bit too frantic, and I just don't think Everton was in the game that much. That's why he got 6. Then into the number 10 position, obviously Fernandes. Same as Ericsson, I don't feel like he got on the ball that much, at least not until some of the subs were made and he got moved around a little bit and he started to get on the ball a little bit more, but he still created a few chances, and you know, that's what he does. He's a risk taker. You know, what his best game, but I still think for me he gets a 6.5. Not his best game, but still does what he does, tries to create chances, you know. And it was funny when he had that little bit of a go at Garnacho, who had a go at him, but obviously for the shot that Fernandes had that went well wide, obviously what he passed the ball to instead, and it was just nice to see Bruno clap back a little bit. And I think that's what makes him a really good captain. He doesn't mind to say what he's thinking, and it was nice to see. Then moving on to the right hand side, Anthony. Good of Anthony, a 7.5. I think he had a good game, scored a goal, obviously a few lovely bits of skill, but then also at some parts in the game he was a bit too predictable, you know, drag back, pass it backwards, drag back, pass it backwards. But obviously he's just doing that to slow the play down, to try and bring other people into it, which is fine, but I'd like to see him take on people a little bit more. Like I said before earlier in the video, I do think that given time he's going to start taking people on a bit more when he gets that confidence. So yeah, 7.5 for me for him. Then we move over to the left hand side to my man of the match, Marcus Rashford. I'm going to give Rashford a 10. Thought he was absolutely superb. Obviously made the first goal, made the second goal, scored the penalty, and also was very effective all the way through the game, trying to take on Seamus Coleman, and got into quite a heated battle with Godfrey, who, by the way, is a bit of a dick. Like, that's all I could see from his attitude. It just seems like a dick. Was proper in Rashford's face, obviously trying to get into his head and rile him up, but he just seemed like a dick. Yeah. So Rashford's man of the match, absolutely superb. And it's lovely to see him back playing the way we know he can play, and I really enjoyed that. Then we move on to Martial, who obviously didn't have his best game. I'm going to give him a 5.5. No, 6. Give him a 6, because I actually thought he held the ball really well. Link-up play was really good. It's just his finishing was awful. Can't really say more than that. Was pretty bad. You know, didn't take his chances. Actually, decent chances, should have scored at least one of them. And just a bit off it finishing wise. But he's all around all-round play was good, so I don't want to mark him, down past the 6. But yeah, then we move on to the full topics. Go from there and try and remember. Obviously, Garnacho came on, got the penalty, was direct, I'm going to give him a 6.5. Thought he was really good. Fred came on. For me, Fred gets an 8 when he came on. I thought he was absolutely superb. I'm really enjoying seeing him as like an impact sub. I think as a starter for United, he might not be quite there. Because he's a little bit too frantic at times. But I think at the last 20 minutes of the game, when other players are running low on energy, and you bring that little energizer bunny on, and he just boom, boom, boom all around the place, it brings out a different side to him. And he hits a couple of worldy passes. He broke up the play really well. Was all over the place, and I really enjoyed his performance. I'm trying to remember who else came on. I know McTominay came on, but just the 6, I don't really remember him doing too much. And also, Leach came on, I believe. And again, 6, don't remember him doing too much. There was a couple of decent tackles, actually 6.5, a couple of decent tackles, if I remember rightly. But yeah, didn't have loads of time to affect the game. And then Maguire came on. Snail to me, because he's just too slow and he affects our game in a negative way. I think I've got an agenda. But yeah, I just don't enjoy seeing him play. Came on, didn't have much to do, tried to get his head on the ball and stuff at near the end, and he did that. I give him a 6. Don't particularly like the play. I think he'll be gone in the summer, because I don't think he wants to be a bench player. But I think that's where he's going to be in the long term for United, because he just doesn't fit our style. Obviously, my mate JD, who does the Shoestring Budget podcast, said he is actually in the right team. He's a really good footballer, and I would agree with that. I think for England, the way they play, he shoots it and does a good job. And I think when he's at Leicester, the way they play, shoots it, does a good job. But playing in a team that's going to play high line, possession-based football, but he's going to have to leave space in behind. I don't think he suits it. He's just not got the pace. He's always going to be exposed to that ball in behind, and I just think he'll leave in the summer. We're going to lose a lot of money on him, and obviously it's not worked out for United. I don't want to be a bastard and say it's the worst signing ever and stuff like that. I just don't think it's worked out. I don't want to be mean, but I think it's time for him to possibly go in the summer. So yeah, I think that was everyone who came on. Obviously, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the game was yesterday. Obviously, I'm recording it the next day at the night time, so while my kids are all sleeping, just makes things easier for me. So yeah, that's everything, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, again, check out Ball Tactics for me, guys. Obviously, if you've managed to get to the end of the video, they've been really kind to sponsor me, and obviously, I love the stuff they put out as well. So I encourage you to check it out. It's some really good stuff. And also, don't forget to obviously like the video, subscribe to the channel. I think I'm on 37 or 38 subscribers now, which for me is massive. Obviously, I'm not getting loads of views on every video. I've had some videos that have had 300 views, and I've had some videos that have had 9. And obviously, it's a bit hit and miss, and I'm learning, and I'm trying to make it a bit more fun and not be as boring, because I know it can be boring, and sometimes I look depressed because my life's a little bit stressful. But I'm really enjoying doing this. I don't always show it in the face, but it really gives me something in my head to help my mental health, and it's really making me happy to do this stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Every single person that's subscribed, I really appreciate it. Obviously, once I hit that 50 mark, I hopefully will be able to do some live streams. Obviously, there'll be quite late ones, because that's when I have the time available to do it. But obviously, or in the afternoon, if people are about, I can do them then, when my kids are in school. But obviously, I'm really looking forward to starting to be able to do some lives, and maybe get some people on and get a conversation going more, have the live chat to have a conversation with as well. But I think that'll really elevate the channel, so I'm hoping to get that soon. Because obviously I'm doing everything through my mobile, and YouTube won't let me live stream until I've got 50 subscribers, so that's the goal. I am hoping to get a laptop at some point, and then that won't be a problem, but obviously money's tight a little bit, so we'll get there eventually. And then obviously the video will quality and stuff might be better, then I'll be able to have more effects and things like that. But cheers for tuning in. I'm just rambling now. Thanks for watching. Obviously, I really appreciate it. Check out the next one. Obviously, I'll be doing my match preview for the Charlton game next, and then match reaction after that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.